I sat across from Brenda, trying to keep a neutral expression despite the storm of emotions brewing inside me. Her voice rose, filled with anger and surprise. "Fine," she began. "Did you even hear what I said?" "Yes, dear," I replied calmly. "You're going on a date with another man this Friday. You know I'm against it, right?" Her eyes widened with surprise, and I caught a faint glimmer of hesitation flicker across her face. "I have a right to my own life," she said, trying to regain her confidence. "I love you, and we have a good relationship, but I want to try something new. Don't let your male ego get in the way. I'll come back to you and make it right, you'll see." I looked at her closely, evaluating every word, every move. "So you admit that what you're doing is wrong, considering you're already saying you'll make it right?" I continued in a steady tone, trying to keep my voice level. "I didn't say it's wrong." Brenda looked away, her eyes dimming as if she felt cornered. "And yet you did," I noted. "If this was simply innocent time with friends or a regular haircut, you wouldn't need to make it right. You know what you're doing is wrong, and that's why your words betray you." She hesitated, unsure how to react, then finally blurted out, "But you said you wouldn't interfere." "I never said that," I replied coldly. "I only admitted that I couldn't make you change your mind. But that doesn't mean I approve. I would have liked to spend the evening together, but you chose someone else's company. You know what this is about. And it's not dinner or dancing, is it? You want his company. Am I right?" Silence was her answer, and her gaze dropping to the floor became a silent confession. The whole week, tension filled the apartment. We avoided each other, almost like strangers. Finally, on Thursday, I gathered my things and moved into the guest room. It wasn't an act of revenge, it was more of a defense of my own integrity. "Rick, what are you doing?" Brenda asked, watching me with mild bewilderment as I passed by her with an armful of clothes. "Moving," I answered curtly. "Are you serious?" She crossed her arms, her voice laced with a hint of mockery and disdain. Such a child. Without a word, I opened the closet in the guest room and began hanging up my things. I wasn't going to give in to her provocations. This choice was hers, not mine. She couldn't blame me for my reaction. "Oh, do you think you can punish the witch with silence? How pathetic." She tried to laugh, but it sounded forced and nervous. "Consequences," was all I said. Friday arrived. I left work early and went to a salon, where I got a stylish haircut and a neat manicure. Then I stopped by a store and bought a new outfit, sleek, elegant, underscoring my confidence. On my way home, I took my truck to the car wash, getting it in perfect condition. When I returned, Brenda was already getting ready. She appeared at the top of the stairs in a new dress I'd never seen before. It was short, tight, hugging her figure and offering a generous view of her neckline. She stopped on the last step and looked at me, expecting a compliment, but I didn't say a word. "Where are you going?" she finally asked, a hint of surprise in her voice. "Out," I replied, mimicking her patronizing tone. "What? You thought I'd sit at home while you went off with another man?" Brenda stayed silent, unsure of what to say, as I walked to my meticulously cleaned truck. That evening, I met Charmaine, a colleague from work, at a cozy wine bar. The dinner was delightful: light snacks, a glass of wine, live music, and dancing. It was an evening filled with laughter and sincerity, something I hadn't felt with Brenda in a long time. As we danced, her arms softly wrapped around my neck, and I felt as if I was rediscovering my confidence and self-worth. We looked into each other's eyes, as if playing an invisible flirtation game, fueling the atmosphere. Her laughter, her sincerity, her attention, it all reminded me of what it meant to be appreciated. When I dropped Charmaine off, she left a trace of her lipstick on my collar, a small reminder of our time together. "Go get her, Tiger," she whispered, smiling before closing the door. When I got home, Brenda was waiting for me. Her face showed anger and disappointment. "Where have you been?" she snapped, her voice laced with dissatisfaction. "None of your business," I replied nonchalantly, taking off my jacket. "You didn't ask your anonymous gentleman if he was careful." "It doesn't matter to me, because I'm not going to touch your faithless body anymore." She stood in shock, unable to believe that I was responding with such coldness and detachment. "I'm grateful to you, Brenda," I said. "If it hadn't been for your desire to open up our marriage, I'd never have known what real support and sincerity in a relationship are like." "What? What do you mean by that?" Her voice broke into a shout. I simply shrugged and, ignoring her tears, walked past her. Several months passed. Brenda moved out of state, unable to bear the consequences of her decisions. We divorced, and I cut all ties with her, feeling no regret. Charmaine and I remained friends, but we both understood that there was more spark than genuine future between us. Eventually, I met someone who valued loyalty and understood what real commitment means. Life had taught me a lot, and now I knew I deserved a partner with whom I would feel respected and appreciated.